Hey everyone, welcome to day 3 of our 5-day happiness habits challenge. It's incredible. By the way, if you're watching this right now, or if you're watching this on the replay, I just want you to know this. It's amazing. This is incredible progress. You've committed. If you're on your 3rd live right now, or whether this is your first one and you're going to go back and catch up, I just want to say congratulations. It's incredible when we carve out some time for ourselves and what can happen. And I've been seeing all the incredible posts on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, and I'm blown away by how much you're growing, how much you're learning, and how much you're practicing these skills. I hope that you kept that going. I hope that you've kept it going for 3 days. All you had to do was write down 3 things you're grateful for when you wake up, 3 things you're grateful for before you go to sleep. Yesterday, you had to reach out and you had to set up a date with someone, basically, start an experience with them, and also express gratitude to someone. How did that go? Tell me, I want to know. Trust me, I'm so hungry to know all your incredible stories because I love hearing about how these simple, so effortless, so simple, right? Not easy, not basic, but simple steps can make such a profound impact on our health and well-being, and most importantly, our happiness. Let me know. I want to hear some of your reflections. How's it been going? Hello, Natalie. Hello, Mayra. Hello, Erica. Hey, Adam. Hey, Jenna. How's it going? Betty, hello. How's it all going? Radhika says, hi Jay, I've added friends, been sharing on Twitter and Facebook, and everyone I know, amazing, loving these chat, that's brilliant. So happy to make it live. I'm seeing more joy just by practicing these skills. Thank you so much, says Pepper. Pepper, that's amazing. I'm so grateful to each and every one of you. This is awesome. I'm so excited. So we're on day 3, and I just want to take a moment, like I said, to really talk about how amazing that is, right? The fact that you're on day 3, you've shown up time and time again, but I want you to make sure that you show up on day 5. So not tomorrow, the day after. I mean, obviously show up tomorrow as well, but day 5, because we'll be selecting one person on day 5 who I'll get to have a personal phone call with and a chat with as well. So I'm really, really excited for that. Love being able to hear your stories. So make sure you show up on the last day 5 for a one-to-one 10-minute phone call with me as well. So make sure you show up for that one. Now, we've talked about gratitude. We've talked about growing together, right? And today is day 3. Yesterday we talked about not just getting together, but growing together. We talked about the GPS, grow, play, serve. And today is really, really, really important. It is about growing our confidence. Growing our confidence. Now listen to this. This is a really, really important topic, a really, really powerful topic that I can't wait to dive in with all of you today, because I think confidence is something we can all relate to. It's something we can all connect with. And before we do that, I'm going to take a quick look at some of your comments. Paul says, wrote a letter to my friend asking her to join me for an experience to do every week. Might learn to dance. I've loved that. I'm loving the gratitude journal, says Valerie. I have lots of work to do to open up, to create my experiences, but I've been thinking about it constantly, so the courage happens today. That's beautiful. Brittany says, sharing these same concepts with my children this morning. They were so excited to go to school today and tell someone how much they love and appreciate them. I love that. That's so awesome, Brittany. Thank you for sharing that. Jamie says, hello, so excited for day 3. Been writing every day and night in my gratitude journal, and my sleep has been amazing. I've never felt so rested. Wow, that's insane. I love that. Actually, why am I surprised? I told you that would work. But it is beautiful to see it in practice. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Wow, Vigos, I reconnected with my father in a meaningful way. I cried, but I haven't felt lighter and happier in a long time. These are beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Look at the impact that we've made in just 3 days. No, just not even two days, right? We're on day 3 today. Just take a moment, and it sounds like all of you have been really following along. For anyone who's watching the replay too, really think about this. Look at the progress you've made in just 2 days. And maybe you are struggling with this for months, maybe years, maybe decades. But in 2 days, not even 2 days, in just 2, roughly 30 to 40 minute sessions, you've made so much progress in your life. That's incredible, right? When you think about it, you're like, wait a minute, Jay, I've been stuck in this place for like a decade now, or I've been stuck in this place for like a year now, or I've been stuck in this place for a few months now, but literally in 35-minute, 40-minute sessions, I feel different. I feel like there's momentum, and that's what's hardest to get to, right? It's not about looking for a complete state shift. We talked about states in the first session. It's not just about going from like, oh yeah, I was sad, now I'm happy. It's about gaining that momentum and knowing it's possible. Isn't that so important? That almost knowing it's possible is even more important than making it possible, because so much of the time we just don't know it's possible. We just feel and we settle and we accept that this is just the way it is right now. And whenever we do that, that's what we get in life, right? We just say, this is the way it is. And Bhavna says, I shared gratitude journal with my husband and he did it along with me, and it was like GPS for me and my husband. That's awesome. Jessica says, hi Jay, I really appreciate this more than you know. I'm slowly changing my mindset through these strategies. I'm waking up with so much gratitude. That's amazing. So I just want to say, imagine if we did this in 2 days. Imagine what's going to happen after 5 days. So I want you to show up every single day. I want you to show up on the final day. Just imagine what's possible when you do this every single day. So today's topic is confidence. Now listen to this. This really stuck with me. I looked at the dictionary definition of confidence, and I'm going to read it out to you. So the Oxford Dictionary says and defines confidence as a feeling of self-assurance, which you're like, okay, I knew that, right? A feeling of self-assurance, but listen to this, arising from an appreciation of one's own abilities or qualities. Listen to that carefully again. A feeling of self-assurance, yeah, I get that, of course. But where does that self-assurance come from? An appreciation of one's own abilities or qualities, not someone else's appreciation of you, not someone else's recognition of you, not someone else's validation of you, not someone else's approval of you, not someone else's feedback of you, from an appreciation of one's own abilities or qualities, not arrogance of one's ability and own qualities, right? Not analysis or criticism of one's own abilities and qualities, appreciation of one's own qualities and abilities. Take that in for a moment. Just let that come in for a moment. When was the last time you appreciated yourself? Now, if you're still thinking, it's been way too long. When was the last time you felt you congratulated yourself? When was the last time you felt that you spoke to yourself in a way that was motivating, that was inspiring, that was insightful? When was that time? Can you remember that? Or maybe it's easier to ask the opposite. Can you remember the last time you talked down to yourself? Can you remember the last time that you criticized yourself? Can you remember the last time you looked in the mirror and told yourself you weren't good enough? Can you remember the last time that you came out of a meeting and straight away started to criticize yourself? Isn't it so true that instead of appreciating our abilities and qualities, we talk down to ourselves, we criticize ourselves? How many of us feel that way? I know I can relate. When we look into a mirror, or we're getting ready for something, how often do we ask someone else, hey, how do I look in this? Next time I want you to do that, I want you to ask yourself, how do I look in this? How do I feel in this? Right? Because at the end of the day, if you're always living for the appreciation of others, then that's never going to build confidence. Notice that from the definition. The appreciation of others doesn't build confidence. It actually cons you into feeling confident. Right? When other people are building up your confidence, that's no longer confidence. It's artificial. It's fake. It doesn't feel real. It's about how we talk to ourselves, right? It's about how we speak to ourselves. The most important meeting you have in the day is with yourself. The most important conversation you have in the day is with yourself. The most important moment you have in the day is with yourself, right? It's always with yourself. But then why do we not know that? Why are we not talking to ourselves in the right way? And because some of us get scared. We're even scared to be like, oh, well, if I start saying that I'm good at something, then I'm going to get arrogant or egotistic, or I'm going to get complacent, or, whatever it is. The Positive self-talk is huge, but I'm going to teach you how to do it effectively in a way that you may not have heard before. Now, positive self-talk isn't just saying to yourself, oh, I'm amazing, everything's incredible. Positive self-talk isn't just like, I'm just, everything's going fine for me, everything's perfect for me. Positive self-talk isn't just like switching to saying good stuff about yourself, right? It's not like, oh, I feel bad about myself, I'm just going to say I feel good about myself. That's not what it is, right? So positive self-talk, you may look in the mirror and be like, or you may come out of a rejection or a failure and you may say to yourself, I'm not good enough, right? That's negative self-talk. I am not good enough. I am not worth it. I'll never make it, right? Those are negative self-talk. Now, positive self-talk is like, I'm going to make it, I'm going to do it, right? And that doesn't work either because you don't believe it. But you say to yourself, you look at that statement, I'm not good enough. And you say, why am I not good enough? You say, oh, because I don't practice. Oh, because I don't read. Oh, because I don't spend time with people who are focused. Okay, my positive self-talk is, I am going to invest in my growth. I am going to make time to study. I'm going to make time to prepare. I'm going to make time to go to yoga. I am, right? That's positive self-talk. What you're doing is you're creating a habit in your life, right? You're creating a habit in your life to rectify how you feel. That is positive self-talk. Not saying I feel good about myself just for the sake of it. You're doing the habit that's going to get you to the place where you can genuinely say and feel it. That doesn't mean you're not happy with the way you are right now. Of course you are. But at the same time, you recognize, right? You recognize that growth that can happen. So if I'm looking at something like right now, a lot of you know that my book is available for pre-order and my first ever book, and I've been working on it. If I look at a chapter, I'm like, I don't like that chapter. I don't start going to myself, oh my God, I'm the worst person in the world. I'm a terrible writer. This is so bad. Like, I don't do that. Just go, okay, well, what does this chapter need? What do I need to work on right now, right? And you switch that straight away. So the technique in which to do this is called spot, stop, swap. Say that out loud with me. Spot, stop, swap. And you can repeat it too. So first, you spot the negative pattern, right? You spot that negative pattern. You spot yourself saying it often. I'll give you another one. I just posted on Instagram the other day. So I used to say I'm busy a lot. And I used to get a lot done in a day, but I'd always be like, I'm busy. When I'd say the word busy, that would make my mind busy. It would make my mind hectic. It would make my head hurt. And so I started switching to saying I'm productive instead of busy. Changed my mind because all of a sudden, not only was I feeling better that I'd achieved something at the end of the day, I was having to be more productive to be able to live up to that statement. Notice how it works in a cycle. Another one of mine that's favorite is, a lot of the time we say, I'm starving, right? How many times have you said, I'm starving, right? And when you say I'm starving, your body almost feels like it's starving, especially if you say it with that much feeling. So now your body's reacting as if it was starving, but the truth is you just haven't eaten for 2 hours, right? And you're hungry. That's the truth. You're not starving like a child who doesn't know where their next meal's coming from. You're just hungry and you haven't eaten, you haven't planned your day out, and you haven't focused and you haven't been scheduled. That's the reality of the situation. But we say, I'm starving, right? So how do we switch that to, I am going to plan my meals for the day. That's positive self-talk, right? I'm going to plan and to take care of myself. So that's spotting. First you spot that pattern, right? First you spot that pattern. Are there any others that I really, really like? Oh, yes, this one. So people say, I'm exhausted. I'm tired. When you say that, it doesn't benefit anything. It just makes you more tired. But when you say, I'm going to nap today. I'm going to rest. Right? I'm going to rest. I'm going to make time to rest today. Right? Rather than just saying, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, and getting lost in that complaint, I'm going to make time to rest today. I'm going to make sure that I have a nap today, right? It changes it. Spot, and then you stop. You stop, which means you ask yourself, well, why is this? How can I change this? What needs to be done about this? And then you swap it. You upgrade for something higher. See, we do the same thing with our phones, right? We upgrade our phones every year, every 2 years, every 3 years. We spot, we start, and we swap, right? That's exactly what we do. We've got to do the same with our thoughts. We have to do the same with our thoughts, right? Patty, not even I need to do my stretches, I want to do my stretches, I am doing my stretches, right? Not even I need to or I want to, it's I am doing my stretches right now, right? So I want you to spot, stop, swap your negative self-talk and look at the difference that comes in your life, right? Now listen to this carefully. Psychology Today reports that these 6 things as major confidence blocks. One of them is making assumptions. Our minds naturally assume the worst in situations. We turn those assumptions inward and create ideas and make up stories that destroy our confidence. We all turn into script writers, movie writers. We've seen too many movies. Now every bad situation feels like a movie. We make assumptions. Again, we can spot, stop, swap. Every time you make an assumption, spot it. Go, okay, I'm going to stop making an assumption. Now I'm going to research the truth the best that I can, and then I'm going to swap that for what I'm going to do about it, right? It applies to that as well. The next one is fear, right? How often do you let fear steal your confidence? This, like assumptions, can feel real, but it's often all in our heads. Again, spot, stop, swap when it comes to fears. Setting unrealistic goals. Right? You may have a pattern for this. You may have a pattern of setting unrealistic goals, and that's where you feel like you're not achieving enough. And I've been there when my weeks are decked out and packed out, but then you're checking everything off your list, but you don't feel good about it because you're tired and exhausted and you're not making time to rest. You can spot, stop, swap, right? All of this can spot, stop, swap. And so our confidence is so much based on our appreciation of our own qualities. But the first thing we have to do is be able to spot, stop, and swap those negative words that we use. Now, sometimes it's very important to understand our emotional vocabulary and how we express and explain ourselves. I'll give you an example. So Harvard has this beautiful table that you can find on Google if you just type in emotional vocabulary Harvard. And what it talks about is how we use very simple words to describe how we feel. Like if someone goes, how's your week going? You can say, okay, good, bad, fine, so-so, right? Okay. How's your week? Yeah, good. How's it been? Yeah, fine. How you doing? Okay. How's your week going? Bad, right? That's literally how we define ourselves. That's literally where we stop. And the most amazing thing about all of this is our emotional vocabulary gets shrunk. That's why we don't know how to express ourselves fully. So what this table shows is that instead of using the word sad, ask yourself, am I actually tearful? Am I pessimistic? Am I depressed? Am I regretful? Am I mournful? Am I disappointed? When you say you're hurt, are you jealous? Are you shocked? When you're embarrassed, are you actually ashamed or guilty? When you're happy, are you thankful? Are you relaxed? Are you excited? Knowing the depth of the specific emotion you're feeling means you can deal with it better and someone else can deal with it better. But if you just use basic emotional vocabulary, then you don't know how to express yourself and you feel less confident because you don't know. Like when you try and diagnose yourself on Google, has anyone ever tried to do that, by the way? It's a terrible idea. Try not to diagnose yourself on Google because guess what happens? When you diagnose yourself on Google, everyone thinks they've got something terrible, right? Everyone thinks they've got something terrible. It's crazy. And so what we have to realize is we have to strengthen our emotional vocabulary, how we talk about our feelings to others, how we talk about our feelings to ourselves, and get really specific and get to know ourselves better. When we do that, we develop confidence because we now feel a sense of self-awareness. See, you're confident when you know what you're dealing with. If you just bucket it with every other approach, right? If you just bucket it with everything, like if you just go, oh, I'm feeling depressed today, right? And let's say you're not clinically diagnosed with depression, I'm depressed today. You actually aren't sure about that, but you're assuming that. When you assume, you create more unknown. And when you create more unknown, you create more fear. And when you create more fear, you create a lack of confidence. Notice how that cycle works? Whereas if you go, okay, I'll give you another example. Let's say I end up with a little rash on my body. And I go, oh my God, I've got, Google it, self-diagnosis, not sure. I go, oh my God, I've got cancer, right? Now, you have assumed something. Therefore, you'd created an uncertainty and an unknown, which has created a fear. And now you're reacting based on that fear and your confidence in your health and yourself drops. But if you just go to the doctor and ask them what it is, they'll tell you what it is. And they'll be like, oh yeah, you just got a skin burn, you ate something wrong, whatever it is, you've reacted badly to something. All of a sudden your confidence goes up. Okay, I can deal with this, right? So we don't diagnose our challenges well enough, right? We don't diagnose our challenges well enough. And because we don't diagnose our challenges well enough, right? Because we don't diagnose our challenges well enough, we're not actually able to deal with them properly. right? We're not able to combat them properly. We struggle to combat them properly. So I want you to remember that with your negative self-talk, you spot, stop, swap. And you don't have to swap it for just like, I feel great today, when you don't. You say, I'm going to go work out to feel great today, right? I'm going to write my gratitude journal to feel great today. You focus on swapping for a habit. And then the emotional vocabulary idea is you being able to express yourself better to yourself so your confidence goes up and yourself. One of the hardest things is when you can't express how you feel to someone else, right? One of the hardest things in the world is when you can't get someone to understand you. And half of the reason for that is, they might not be listening, but let's say they're a good friend. Half of the reason for that is you don't know what language to use, right? You're not using the right language. And that's where your confidence gets boosted. When you're able to articulate yourself effectively, right? When you're really, really able to talk about it. Now, confidence is huge, right? Confidence is absolutely huge. And one of the things about confidence, right, is, again, like I'm saying, this meeting with yourself, how you're talking to yourself. But the other side of confidence is how much you feel you are learning and growing. So one habit that I definitely want you to take away today is spot, stop, swap, obviously. The second habit that I really want you to take away is expanding your emotional vocabulary, right? And if you're reading this right now, tell me how you're feeling right now. How much is this helping? How much is this changing the way things are moving in your mind, right? Let me know. Rachel says, strengthen our emotional vocabulary. Huge. I love that. Christine, emotional vocabulary, very helpful. Thank you. And the way to spot yourself is to notice the language and the patterns. So you may write down now, like, okay, what do I see that I say often? Or ask your friends, like, what do I say often? And then you can mark it, right? Rachel says, I love it. Thank you for sharing this wisdom, being able to articulate how we are doing emotionally. Absolutely. When you put a language around it, you feel confident about it, right? If I can explain what's happening in my life, I feel more confident about it. If I can't explain what's happening in my life, that's where I feel a lack of confidence, right? Sometimes we're like, I don't get the words, right? The words are just not there. And the words are not there because we've not really thought about what we're going through and why we're going through it. As soon as you can put words to it, you become stronger, you feel more confident, right? You feel way more confident. Way more confident. And so I really, really, really want you to think about that and think about how to build on that. Shannon says, I love the spot, stop, swap. It makes you stop in the moment and reflect on your thoughts and stop the pattern, habit of negative thinking. Exactly. And when you realize it's just a pattern, that's all it is. Negativity is just a pattern. Actually, it's just a habit. It's mind-blowing. Negativity is just a habit. That's all we're switching. We're switching up habits. That's what's changing here. Right? Raylan says, hi Jay, thank you for this. Confidence is a true battle for people. I'm working through this process since I just quit my long-time high-paying job to start a new passion. Getting off the ground is all about confidence. I love that. That's awesome. Gina says, the emotional vocabulary piece is so key. It's easy to try to answer without depth, but the deeper the vocabulary, the more you articulate the emotion and the easier to assess and deal with it. Absolutely. And the thing is, I'm not saying you've got to go to everyone and say this to them, right? It's not like you're going to go to absolutely everyone and talk to them about all your deepest, darkest secrets. That's not the point. But the point is, when you are with the right person, you can learn to express and articulate yourself more effectively. When you do that, your confidence goes up. When you do that, they can help you better. Now, one more habit that I really, really want to share with you about boosting your confidence, right? And this one is about feeling progress and growth and learning. One of the reasons why we lose confidence in ourselves is because we no longer learn. We no longer learn. We've stopped learning. And when you stop learning, you feel like you're not growing. And when you feel like you're not growing, you don't feel any confidence. See, when you were young, you would celebrate every inch you grew in height. When you were young, you would celebrate every year you got a new grade in school. In school, every year there would be something to celebrate, some sort of milestone, some sort of moving forward. Now in life, it's almost like the years get further and further apart. So you go from graduating, up to that point, you pretty much celebrated something every year. It's been big birthdays, whatever. And then you're like, okay, now I'm going to wait till I get 30. Now I'm going to wait till I get married. Now I'm gonna wait till I get promoted. Now I'm gonna wait till I have kids, right? The milestones almost grow bigger and they're almost harder because they come with more challenges. And so you almost feel like you're not learning as much, you're not progressing as much, you're not growing as much. And also these are such external directors of happiness that it's like, well, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense because I need to feel happy every day, right? I can't wait for an external milestone. I can't wait for something outside of me to change for me to feel happy. And so you have to set your own. Now, one of my favorite ones is learning a new word every single day, right? Learning a new word every single day. Something as simple as learning about a new word, a new cuisine, a new place, a new city. So I'm going to share with you one today. We're going to learn one together, right? I'm going to find one that I think is really, really cool. Let's have a look. Let me find one that I think is really, really cool. I want to teach you one that has a lot of meaning. And I try to do this every day. I haven't done today's, hence I'm doing it with you, right? I want to do it with you today. Let's have a look. I'm going to find a really cool word. Oh, I love this. Okay, so this is a new word. Meraki. Meraki. M-E-R-A-K-I. Meraki. Meraki means to do something with soul, creativity, or love. To put something of yourself in your work. How beautiful is that? Meraki. M-E-R-A-K-I. To do something with soul, creativity, or love. To put something of yourself in your work. I love that, right? Now, that's a beautiful word. Now, I've learned that today. I've got a boost of confidence now because I'm learning. That's what happens when you learn something new, you get a boost of confidence. I'm feeling more confident sharing that with you. And you also feel more confident when you share it with someone. Now that I've shared it with you, if we were together in a room, and I'm sure it will now, we start a new conversation. Now, everyone's talking about Meraki. Oh, what do you do with soul? Or what do you do with creativity or love? When do you feel you put yourself into your own work? You've now sparked a deep, meaningful conversation. When we have deep, meaningful conversations, our confidence grows. When we're able to contribute to a conversation, when we're learning something. See, when you learn something, you're now better able to contribute to conversations. That's what I love about learning. You've always got something cool, interesting, unique to say that is meaningful. Not just to look cool, not just to appear cool, but something of value. So if you're learning a new word every day, if you're learning a word from a new language every day, if you're learning about a new city every day, if you're learning about a new place every day, you might learn from your industry. Like you may learn about one of the greats in your industry. You may and just one thing. It's not like, oh, wow, I'm going to learn a whole language, right? That's where we start setting unrealistic goals and then we feel sad. And I don't do that. I'm like, okay, well, what can I learn once a day? And that boosts your confidence, right? Jessica said, I love that. I just downloaded Word of the Day podcast to always make sure I'm learning something new every day, even if it's just a word. I love that. Lisa Dennis, Meraki, that's a great term. Brilliant. So your confidence will grow the more you learn, the more you feel you're progressing, the more you feel you're moving. And that has to be daily. And therefore you have to take control of that. It can't be an external outside thing, right? It just can't be an external outside thing. The more you make it an external outside thing, the more unlikely it is to actually be useful, right? Rachel says, I'm a physical therapist and I love what I do, but I've always been interested in real estate. And so I decided to enroll in real estate class to become licensed so I can get more involved. It has been exhilarating to dive deep into learning something new. There you go. Join a class, join a workshop. You can learn something new every day. Watch a documentary, right? Something so beautiful comes out of learning something every day. But when we stopped school, when we graduated, we stopped learning. And when we stopped learning, we stopped feeling that boost in our confidence, right? And that's where you start appreciating your own abilities and qualities, right? You start appreciating your own abilities and qualities when you're learning. And that's the last thing I want you to do. I want you today to write down 3 personal and 3 professional qualities that you love about yourself. And I want you to write it down right now. What are the 3 personal and 3 professional qualities? Your personal ones, maybe I'm trustworthy. Your personal ones, maybe I'm caring. Your personal ones, maybe I'm loving. Your personal ones, maybe I'm reliable. Your personal ones, maybe I'm good energy, right? Personal ones. And then I want you to write down 3 professional ones. I'm organized, I'm strategic, I'm focused, right? I want you to do that. And if it helps, you can take 16personalities.com. It's a test online. I'm not affiliated with them and they're free as well. And that will help you learn your skills too. But I want you to reflect on your own skills, because remember the definition of confidence. The definition of confidence, right? Very clearly, I'm just reading out again to you. A feeling of self-assurance as rising from an appreciation of one's own abilities and qualities. And we will do that when we spot, stop, swap our negative self-talk, when we define our emotional vocabulary better so we can really articulate ourselves, when we learn something new every day. Now I want you to reflect and write down your top 3 personal and top 3 professional qualities. And whatever they are, I want you to make a commitment to become an expert in them. I don't want you to just let them be and be like, oh yeah, they're cool. I've got these qualities. If you deep dive on building that strength, it will become so powerful that you will feel so confident. It'll be so powerful that you'll feel so confident. So all you have to do is pick one of those and learn about that. So we had the example earlier about someone learning about real estate. Rachel, I believe it was, learning about real estate, right? And it's so vital that every day you are working on that skill, because if that skill's getting stronger, your personal, professional quality and ability, you're noticing it more, people are noticing it more, now you feel more strong, you feel more significant in a positive way, not in an arrogant way, not in an overconfident, cocky way, not in a show-off way, but in a genuine, authentic way. Nadine says, I love this. I'm so happy to be here with you, Jay, and everyone has been so supportive. I feel all this love and happiness. Thank you. This is great. Thank you. These sessions are wonderful, says Trey. Thank you, Trey. Sam says, I'm empathetic, honest, and loving. Professionally, I'm reliable, thorough, and concentrated. Brilliant. I want you to recognize the greatness within yourself, because the problem is we don't recognize the greatness within ourselves, and that's why we're waiting for someone else to recognize our greatness. Right? We don't recognize our own strengths. We're waiting for someone to recognize our strengths, and all the time feeling weak. That's literally our life. Like, we don't recognize our own strengths. We wait for someone to recognize our strengths, and we just feel weak in the process. Weaker and weaker and weaker, day by day by day, week by week by week, month by month by month, year by year by year. Right? Amanda says, this week has been hard for me to make the live videos and take notes because I'm at work, but I'm so thankful for the video and also love the podcast, but this is making me realize writing this all down will be a game changer. Amanda, go do it in the evening. Do it later on. You don't have to do it while you're at work. That's why the replays are there. Lisa says, I decided to learn about photography and also take my hobbies. Amazing. And see, this is the amazing thing, that one of the reasons why my genius community is every single week is because I believe that when you're learning like this, through coaching, exactly like this, every single week, that builds your confidence, right? If you just do like one-off retreats or one-off weekend or whatever, it's cool, but you don't get that boost that lasts. Whereas when you're learning every single week, that stays with you. Now, when you're reminded about tools like the emotional vocabulary or spot, stop, swap every single week, they become more natural. They become second nature to you because you've heard about them so much. You know how to incorporate them effectively. And then when you start making that commitment to carve out time to having these meaningful conversations online from wherever you are in the world, like we do in our genius community, that way you see the change happening gradually and naturally for you. You feel that momentum every single week, right? So I'm really grateful to have a lot of our genius members here who are contributing to the conversation. Thank you so much. And they'll find, even if they've heard some of these things before, they'll find that being refreshed is such an important quality for all of us. Right? Such an important thing for each and every one of us. Liliana says, thank you, Jay, for these wonderful messages. It makes me feel like I can keep pushing even further to succeed in all aspects of life. Erica says, thank you for taking time for your day to share your wisdom, Jay. I truly appreciate it. This is amazing. I'm so grateful that you're all making time. It's huge, right? I get it. You're at work. I get it. You've got children. I get it. You've got a busy schedule. But guess what? You're going to be better for all of them when you become better for yourself, right? When you give this investment and depth to yourself, you're able to show up so much more in every other area of your life. And we think that we just want to be everywhere for everyone and we're letting people down, but we let people down when we show up with less energy, right? That's when we let people down. We let people down when we show up with less energy. But when we show up with our best energy, with our best presence, with our best intention, feeling confident, all of that changes. So what I want you to do today, and again, I'm putting all three together. The first one was showing gratitude to others. The second one is about connecting with others. Today is about feeling confidence in yourself. And I want you to go and share your top 3 personal qualities and professional qualities with your friend and have them share theirs with you. Don't tell them what you think of them. Let them say what they think about themselves and you say what you think about yourself. Next time your friend asks you, how do I look in this? Say to them, no, I want you to decide how you look at this. You may get in trouble. You may be rushing. But I want you to get into that habit. We need to decide how we feel about ourselves. When people say, how would people describe you in 3 words? No, reply to that question. I'm going to tell you how I describe myself in 3 words. We've got to get comfortable and confident understanding ourselves, being aware of ourselves and being able to articulate our strengths and our weaknesses. We're poor at articulating our strengths and our weaknesses because we're so uncertain about both of them. We're very vague about our weaknesses and we're very unsure about our strengths. So we're poor at both. We need to get better at both. The better you get at articulating your strengths, the better you get at articulating your weaknesses. The better you get at articulating your weaknesses, the better you get at articulating your strengths. That's a power position, right? A power position is not being poor at talking about your strengths and your weaknesses. So that's where I want you to get to. If you go back through this live again, right? If you go through this live again, watch it again, you'll be able to pinpoint all of these areas, right? This was probably one of my favorite sessions I've ever delivered. I hope that it felt like that for you. I hope that you felt like I was in flow because you were all connecting, you were all resonating, you were all looking for more of a deep dive into that wisdom. Thank you so much for showing up for day 3 of our 5-day challenge. It's been amazing to be on this journey with you. I'm absolutely loving connecting with each and every one of you, getting to know you more. I'm reading a ton of comments in the group. Make sure you go ahead and share with the hashtags Habits for Happiness on Instagram, on Twitter, and on Facebook. I am looking out, I am learning, I am watching. Make sure you show up for day 4 live tomorrow. Tell everyone in the group, all your friends to show up as well. And make sure you show up on day 5 because we'll be picking one person for me to connect with one-to-one as well. So I really, really want you to go ahead, practice these 3 habits. Remember, keep them going for the 5 days because on day 5, I'll be asking you, how have things changed, right? I will be asking you, how have things changed for you? Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. Have an amazing day. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.